Hello, Carl here with Sustainability Theory News. We're over at ecofarmingdaily.com and they have an article on biochar, preparing it for soil. Biochar is basically wood that was burned in not the complete absence of oxygen, but with very little oxygen. It turns into sort of like a charcoal substance. It has a lot of pores in it that can be filled with water and teeming with microbial life, fungus and bacteria that's good for the soil. So it can do a lot of different things, but you have to prepare it right for the soil. They talk about a USDA study where they put tons, literally 8 tons per acre or 4 tons per acre of biochar. And they discovered that either one works just as well. But the problem is they broke some of the cardinal rules of using biochar, and they talk about it right here. You don't use a lot of it in one large load. Just like, yeah, you might eat a couple 100 pounds of food every year, but you don't eat it all in one sitting. They use raw uncharged char, so char that does not have minerals in it. They talk about how to test your soil and find out what minerals it's lacking and add sea-based minerals to it. You could use bentonite clay, azomite, I think is a commercial product, but sea minerals or ocean-based minerals, they're much better for soils, that's for sure. And they used sterile uninoculated char in their study without any good beneficial microbes in it. And they used synthetic fertilizer and tillage and other properties that would kill the beneficial bacteria in the soil. Now, biochar used in South America was called terra preta. In Africa, it's African dark earths. It has almost unlimited soil fertility because it's so porous if it's done correctly. And they talk about it can be done in as little as 500 pounds per acre. First step, you have to moisten it. Get the biochar moist. You can't just drench it with water. It will wash away some of the nice fuel for the microbes, which is the little tiny black dust. That will go away if you leave it just sitting out. And then you're left with some nice porous material, a home for the microbes, but not the food for the microbes. Micronization, basically crushing it up. Taking the big pieces, crushing them into small pieces. They talk about the biggest piece might want to be about the size of rice and then with a lot of dust. But they talk about a 1-inch chunk has 6 square inches of surface area. So you can shatter that into thousands of fragments and has a lot more surface area, thus improving the beneficial qualities of biochar, so micronizing. Moisten, micronize, then mineralize. Again, sea-based minerals are some of the best sea or ocean-based minerals. And talks about cation exchange capacity, the fuel tank of the soil. Very good to know if you're into soil science. Biochar, full spectrum fertility, but lastly they talk about using microbial inoculation. Maybe you got some nice wood chips that have been composting for a few years, you got some local beneficial microbes in there. You could put that in the biochar. It's usually nice to mix it with some liquid and some sugars maybe, and some oxygen, air bubblers like from a fish tank. Just let it brew for a little while, get a lot of spores going, and then just pour it all over the biochar. There's all sorts of other ways you can do it in powdered mixes, but they need water to survive. You could also use vitamin mixes and all sorts of other stuff. I'm going to link to this article in the description because there is so much data in here. If you'd like to see more news headlines like this, subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.